Hello, friends. If you're curious about the movie The Forgotten Depths, 2025, you're in the perfect place. Don't forget to give this video a quick like, it really helps us out. And if you're new here, hit subscribe to stay updated on all the latest movie deep dives. Let's jump right in. The story opens with a slow, almost haunting rhythm, a world draped in shadows and silence, broken only by the soft rustling of leaves and the distant crashing of waves against jagged cliffs. It's a place that feels untouched, yet heavy with secrets, where every stone and whisper seems to hold the weight of untold stories. This is where we meet our protagonist, an archaeologist driven not just by the thrill of discovery but by a haunting past she can't quite shake. The film unfolds as a taut, suspenseful journey into the heart of mystery and memory, exploring the line where history blurs with myth and truth becomes something far more elusive. At its surface, this is a thriller set against the backdrop of an isolated island, lush but perilous, a character in its own right. The narrative revolves around a newly uncovered ruin that promises to rewrite what we know about an ancient civilization, but with this discovery comes danger, both physical and psychological. Our lead's initial excitement soon morphs into a desperate quest to uncover the truth about the ruin and its connection to her family's legacy, a journey that pulls her deeper into a web of intrigue and peril. The film's structure is deliberate, peeling back layers like an archaeological dig itself. We are drawn into a narrative where time folds over itself, flashbacks weave seamlessly with present-day sequences, memories surface and distort, and the boundaries between reality and hallucination become dangerously porous. This approach immerses viewers in the protagonist's fractured psyche, making every revelation and setback feel immediate and intimate. The storytelling invites us not just to watch but to inhabit the uncertainty, to question what is seen and unseen. Throughout this unfolding mystery, themes of loss, identity, and the search for belonging resonate quietly but powerfully. The island, with its rugged terrain and hidden caves, becomes a metaphor for the mind's labyrinth, where dark recesses hold forgotten truths and buried pain. The film explores how the past, personal and collective, shapes our present, and how confronting that past is often the only way to move forward. There is an emotional undercurrent beneath the suspense, a tender thread that ties the protagonist's external quest to an internal journey of healing and acceptance. The tension escalates through encounters with both natural threats, treacherous cliffs, unpredictable storms, and human ones, as shadowy figures with their own agendas lurk in the margins. The film keeps its audience guessing, skillfully balancing moments of quiet reflection with bursts of adrenaline-fueled action. The narrative's twists are neither gratuitous nor predictable. They emerge organically from the characters' motivations and the island's mysteries. Each turn deepens the enigma, forcing the protagonist, and us, to reconsider what is real and what is illusion. Central to the suspense is the revelation of a secret that links the ancient ruins to a present-day conspiracy, threading together myth, history, and personal vendetta in a way that challenges assumptions and keeps the stakes high. The film deftly uses symbolism, the shifting tides, the ever-present fog, the ancient carvings etched into stone, to enrich the narrative, turning setting into storytelling. These elements add layers of meaning, inviting viewers to decipher their significance alongside the protagonist. The performances anchor the film's emotional core. The lead delivers a portrayal that is both vulnerable and fiercely determined, capturing the nuanced shifts from hope to despair, fear to courage. Supporting characters are sketched with enough depth to sustain intrigue and emotional complexity, each carrying secrets and motives that intersect unpredictably. Their interactions crackle with tension, underscoring the fragile alliances and betrayals that propel the plot. Visually, the film is a feast of atmosphere. The cinematography captures the island's haunting beauty with sweeping vistas and intimate close-ups, using light and shadow to evoke mood and meaning. The sound design amplifies the sense of isolation and suspense, weaving natural sounds with an evocative score that pulses beneath the surface. The editing stitches together timelines and perspectives seamlessly, maintaining clarity while enhancing the narrative's psychological texture. In sum, this film offers more than a straightforward adventure or mystery. It is a carefully crafted meditation on memory and identity, where every detail, visual, auditory, narrative, works in harmony to create a compelling and immersive experience. It challenges viewers to engage actively, to question and interpret, and to feel the weight of secrets long buried and the courage required to unearth them. So settle in, lean forward, and prepare to be drawn into a world where the past and present collide, where the search for truth is as perilous as it is necessary, and where every shadow hides a story waiting to be told. The story begins with a subtle yet palpable tension lingering in the air, a quiet unease that seems to seep from the very earth beneath the protagonist's feet. Our heroine, Dr. Lila Grant, arrives on the remote island with a mix of anticipation and burden, drawn not only by professional curiosity but also by a personal legacy she has long sought to understand. She carries with her the weight of a family mystery, a shadow that has haunted her since childhood, and this expedition represents both a chance for discovery and a confrontation with the past. The island itself emerges early as a character, wild and enigmatic. Lush vegetation cascades down craggy cliffs, mist drifts low over hidden caves, and ancient ruins rise weathered and imposing against the skyline. The initial sequences focus on the delicate process of exploration, the careful excavation of artifacts, the detailed mapping of carvings, and the slow unveiling of a civilization whose history has been obscured by time and the elements. Through these scenes, the film immerses us in the meticulous rhythms of archaeology, grounding the narrative in tangible reality even as the mystery begins to unravel. As Lila and her team delve deeper into the site, tensions surface, not only from the physical challenges of the terrain but also among the team members themselves. The crew is a mosaic of personalities, each bringing distinct expertise and, crucially, concealed motives. Dr. Grant's professionalism and determination inspire respect but also unease, as some team members seem reluctant to share information or fully trust her leadership. These interpersonal dynamics introduce an undercurrent of suspicion that parallels the island's hidden dangers. Early discoveries hint at a civilization whose culture was both advanced and enigmatic, marked by symbols and rituals that defy easy interpretation. Lila's breakthrough comes with the unearthing of a carved tablet, its cryptic inscriptions suggesting a narrative of exile and vengeance. This artifact becomes a key to unlocking the island's secrets, drawing Lila further into its mythos, and further into conflict with those who wish to keep these truths buried. The tension between knowledge and secrecy builds steadily, foreshadowing the stakes that will soon escalate. Parallel to the archaeological work, the film weaves in glimpses of Lila's backstory, using flashbacks that unfold with a measured subtlety. These moments reveal her fractured relationship with her estranged father, a man whose own obsession with the island's history ended in tragedy. His disappearance years before casts a long shadow over Lila's motivations, intertwining the personal with the professional. These interludes provide emotional depth and context, grounding the suspense in human vulnerability. As the team progresses, they encounter physical obstacles that heighten the sense of peril: treacherous cliffs, sudden storms, and the deceptive calm of the island's dense forests. The environment tests their resilience, while the encroaching sense of something unseen lurking beyond sight escalates unease. Scenes of exploration give way to moments of subtle menace, the feeling of being watched, unexplained noises, and the discovery of signs that others may be present on the island. These elements build a layered atmosphere where natural beauty coexists with latent threat. Interpersonal conflicts reach a boiling point when a critical piece of the artifact puzzle is stolen, suggesting betrayal within the team. Suspicion fractures alliances, and Lila finds herself increasingly isolated, forced to navigate not only the island's mysteries but the murky loyalties around her. This internal tension mirrors the external dangers, as trust becomes a scarce commodity and every decision carries heightened consequences. A pivotal moment arrives when Lila discovers a hidden chamber beneath the main ruin, its walls adorned with frescoes depicting a tragic tale of exile, sacrifice, and retribution. The chamber's secrets offer clues not only to the island's past but to the motives that have kept it shrouded in silence. As she pieces together the story, the narrative begins to reveal the threads connecting the ancient civilization's fate to her family's history, deepening the personal stakes. The film carefully balances moments of quiet discovery with escalating suspense. Scenes shift from the meticulous cataloging of artifacts to tense encounters in shadowed caves, where the threat of violence becomes tangible. The lighting grows dimmer, the sounds more ominous, and the editing sharpens to a rhythmic pulse that mirrors the protagonist's rising anxiety. This deliberate pacing immerses the viewer, making each revelation feel earned and each threat credible. Throughout these developments, themes of memory and identity surface repeatedly. Lila's journey is as much about reclaiming her own story as it is about uncovering history. The island's secrets become a mirror reflecting her internal struggle. How to confront loss, how to discern truth amid layers of deception, and how to forge a path forward when the past refuses to remain buried. These thematic undercurrents give the film emotional texture, ensuring that the suspense never eclipses the human story at its heart. By the midpoint, the stakes have been clearly established. Lila must not only survive the island's physical dangers and unravel its mysteries, but also confront those within her own team whose agendas threaten to derail her mission. The blend of external adventure and internal drama sets the stage for the inevitable confrontations to come, promising revelations that will test the protagonist's resolve and redefine her understanding of family, history, and self. In summary, the first half of the film is a masterful layering of mood, character, and plot. It unfolds with a measured tension, inviting viewers to enter a world where every discovery carries weight and every shadow hints at hidden peril. Through a combination of intimate character moments and sweeping cinematic vistas, the narrative builds a compelling foundation that prepares us for the complex emotional and narrative journey ahead. The film's second stretch unfolds with an intensifying pulse, a rhythm that quickens as the mysteries once veiled in shadow begin to take shape in stark, often unsettling clarity. Where the first part of the story laid the groundwork, introducing us to the island's haunting beauty, the fragile bonds of the excavation team, and the fractured past of our protagonist, now the narrative plunges deeper into peril and revelation. The tension ratchets higher, both in the external dangers that threaten the characters and in the internal conflicts that force them to confront truths far more complex and personal than they anticipated. After uncovering the hidden chamber, Lila becomes obsessed with the frescoes and inscriptions that speak of exile, sacrifice, and betrayal, stories eerily mirrored in her own family's history. Her determination to decode these ancient secrets is matched only by the growing hostility within her team. Alliances fracture as suspicions morph into outright accusations. The theft of the critical artifact reveals itself as part of a broader web of deceit. The island holds not only the echoes of a long-lost civilization but also the ambitions and betrayals of those who covet its power in the present. One of the key turning points arrives when Lila, working alone under the cloak of night, discovers a hidden passage that leads to a subterranean labyrinth beneath the ruins. The descent into these twisting corridors is both literal and symbolic, a journey into the depths of the islands and her own forgotten past. The labyrinth's claustrophobic darkness and echoing silence amplify the film's themes of isolation and confrontation with the unknown. It is here that the narrative's psychological tension peaks, as Lila must navigate not just the physical maze but the shadows of memory and trust. Within the labyrinth, the film layers moments of heightened suspense with revelations that upend previous assumptions. Lila stumbles upon evidence that suggests the island's ancient inhabitants were torn apart by internal strife as much as external forces. The narrative reveals a cycle of vengeance and secrecy that has persisted across centuries, echoing the present-day treacheries unfolding above ground. This thematic mirroring deepens the story's emotional resonance, suggesting that history's shadows linger long and wide, shaping destinies beyond the reach of time. Back on the surface, the fractured team's tensions culminate in confrontations that blur the line between ally and adversary. The once cohesive unit now operates under a cloud of paranoia and desperation. The antagonist's true motives come into sharp focus, not merely greed but a desire to control the island's secrets for personal redemption and power. His manipulation of others, combined with his willingness to cross moral boundaries, escalates the stakes and forces Lila into a series of calculated decisions where survival demands both courage and cunning. The film's pacing accelerates as storm clouds gather, both literally and metaphorically. A violent tempest batters the island, the howling wind and lashing rain becoming external manifestations of the brewing conflict. The storm isolates characters, cuts off communication, and turns familiar terrain into treacherous territory. These environmental challenges amplify the sense of urgency and heighten the film's atmospheric tension, creating a backdrop where every choice feels fraught with consequence. In this crucible, relationships are tested and true character emerges. Lila's connection with a few trusted allies becomes a lifeline amid chaos, their shared vulnerability and determination forming a counterpoint to the betrayals and greed surrounding them. These bonds humanize the narrative, reminding viewers that even in the darkest moments, connection and hope persist. Scenes of quiet solidarity, huddled against the storm, sharing stories, offering support, provide emotional anchor points amid the turmoil. A pivotal twist reshapes the narrative's trajectory. Lila uncovers a journal hidden within the labyrinth, written by a figure linked both to the ancient civilization and her own lineage. This journal reveals that her father's disappearance was not an accident but tied to the island's secrets and the machinations of those seeking to exploit them. The revelation reframes the entire quest, transforming it from a pursuit of academic discovery into a personal battle for justice and closure. The past and present collide with emotional force, intertwining Lila's identity with the island's fate. This new understanding propels the narrative toward its climax. As the storm clears, the remaining members of the team confront one another in a final confrontation amidst the ruins. The film orchestrates this sequence with cinematic precision. Shifting angles, sharp cuts, and a tension-filled score underscore the high stakes. Trust fractures definitively, and the line between friend and foe dissolves in a crucible of desperation and survival instinct. Lila's resourcefulness and resolve come to the fore as she navigates this perilous showdown. The film balances physical action with psychological intensity, focusing on her internal struggle as much as external threats. Moments of quiet determination are punctuated by bursts of adrenaline, chases through collapsing corridors, struggles against natural and human adversaries, and a final act that tests her endurance and moral compass. The resolution unfolds with a delicate balance of closure and ambiguity. Lila emerges not only physically scarred but emotionally transformed. The island's secrets are exposed, its ancient story laid bare alongside the contemporary betrayals that echoed it. Yet, the film resists tidy endings. Questions linger, relationships remain complicated, and the protagonist's path forward is both hopeful and uncertain. This nuanced conclusion reinforces the film's thematic emphasis on the complexity of truth and the ongoing nature of personal and collective healing. Visually, the climax and resolution are marked by a shift in tone and palette. The oppressive grays and blues of earlier scenes give way to softer, warmer light, dawn breaking over the island, symbolizing renewal and the possibility of reconciliation. This visual transformation mirrors Lila's internal journey, suggesting that even after profound loss and upheaval, there is space for growth and hope. Sound design and score play critical roles in the film's final act. The tension-filled ambient sounds give way to a more melodic, contemplative score as the storm passes and resolution unfolds. This auditory transition supports the narrative's emotional arc, guiding viewers from suspense and fear toward reflection and tentative peace. Throughout the second half, the film masterfully weaves together its narrative threads, myth and memory, personal history and communal legacy, betrayal and redemption, into a cohesive and emotionally resonant whole. The pacing, performances, and technical elements align to create an experience that is both gripping and thoughtful, inviting audiences to engage not only with the surface thriller but with the deeper questions it raises about identity, truth, and the legacies we inherit. In essence, this latter portion of the film deepens the journey begun earlier, pushing characters to their limits and unraveling mysteries that have long simmered beneath the surface. It challenges viewers to confront uncomfortable truths alongside the protagonist, offering no easy answers but a compelling exploration of the human spirit's capacity to endure and transform. Through its intricate plot developments and climactic revelations, the film delivers a conclusion that is as satisfying as it is thought-provoking, leaving a lasting impression that echoes beyond the screen. The fabric of this film is woven through its characters, complex, flawed, and vividly human figures whose inner lives and interactions drive the narrative forward. Each character is more than a mere participant in the unfolding mystery. They are embodiments of the film's themes, vessels through which questions of trust, identity, and resilience are explored in profound and often unsettling ways. To truly grasp the depth of the story, one must delve deeply into these individuals, understanding not only their external actions but the motivations, fears, and contradictions that define them. At the heart of this narrative stands Dr. Lila Grant, whose journey forms the emotional and psychological axis of the film. Lila is not a typical protagonist. She carries scars both visible and invisible, shaped by a past marked by loss and a relentless drive to uncover truth. Her characterization is layered with contradictions, strength tempered by vulnerability, determination shadowed by doubt. From the moment she steps onto the island, she embodies a complex interplay between professional rigor and personal obsession, making her a compelling and relatable figure. Lila's backstory is essential to understanding her motivations and the emotional stakes that propel her forward. Raised in the shadow of a father whose disappearance on the same island remains a haunting mystery, she grapples with unresolved grief and the weight of legacy. This personal history fuels her obsession with the excavation, blurring the lines between academic pursuit and a deeply personal quest for closure. Her character arc charts a transformation from guarded skepticism to an openness born of confrontation with the islands, and her own hidden truths. Her interactions with other characters reveal the layers of her personality and the complexities of trust and betrayal. With her team, Lila navigates a delicate balance between leadership and isolation. She commands respect through expertise and determination, yet her guardedness and the secrets she keeps create distance. Her relationships are marked by tension and fragile alliances, reflecting broader themes of suspicion and the difficulty of forging connection amid adversity. These dynamics enrich her character, showing how strength often coexists with loneliness. The antagonist, whose betrayal catalyzes much of the conflict, is crafted with nuance and depth. Rather than a one-dimensional villain, he emerges as a figure driven by desperation, regret, and ambition. His charisma and intelligence mask a darker pragmatism, and his actions, though reprehensible, are grounded in a complex web of motivations. This characterization invites the audience to grapple with moral ambiguity, challenging easy judgments and emphasizing the film's thematic focus on the murky intersections of good and evil. His relationship with Lila is fraught with history and emotional complexity. The layers of personal connection, manipulation, and betrayal between them provide much of the film's dramatic tension. Scenes that explore their shared past and conflicting desires are charged with subtext, highlighting the pain and power dynamics at play. This interplay deepens the narrative, illustrating how personal histories shape present conflicts and emotional landscapes. Supporting characters, such as the parole officer and private investigator, serve as foils and catalysts within the story, each bringing distinct perspectives and ethical shades. The parole officer's cautious empathy contrasts with the antagonist's ruthlessness, embodying themes of justice tempered by humanity. His character navigates the institutional pressures and personal doubts that complicate his role, offering a nuanced portrayal of someone caught between duty and compassion. This complexity enriches the narrative, showing that moral clarity is often elusive. The private investigator, with his skeptical pragmatism and reluctant loyalty, adds texture to the moral landscape. His motivations are often ambiguous, and his alliances shift as circumstances evolve. Through him, the film explores themes of survival and the compromises demanded by a world rife with deception. His interactions with Lila and other characters underscore the precarious nature of trust and the fluidity of allegiance in a high-stakes environment. The ensemble cast further includes team members whose diverse backgrounds and personalities contribute to the film's tension and thematic richness. Each brings personal stakes and hidden agendas, complicating group dynamics and propelling the narrative's suspense. Their relationships with Lila oscillate between cooperation and conflict, illustrating the fragile bonds forged in pursuit of truth amid danger. Throughout the film, character development is closely tied to the unfolding mystery. As secrets are revealed and threats intensify, the characters' facades crack, revealing vulnerabilities, fears, and hidden strengths. These moments of revelation are pivotal, not only advancing the plot but deepening emotional engagement. The film's skill lies in balancing external action with intimate character study, ensuring that suspense is rooted in human experience rather than mere spectacle. Visual storytelling techniques complement this character work. Close-up shots capture fleeting expressions that speak volumes: hesitation, fear, resolve, inviting viewers into the character's internal worlds. The use of lighting and framing underscores emotional states, isolating characters in moments of doubt or bringing them together in shared resolve. These cinematic choices amplify the performances, creating a symbiotic relationship between actor and image. Moreover, the film's thematic concerns, trust, identity, betrayal, and resilience, are embodied and enacted through character arcs. Lila's transformation mirrors the broader exploration of how trauma and memory shape identity and how confronting painful truths is necessary for growth. The antagonist's duplicity reflects the corrosive effects of betrayal on personal and collective levels. Supporting characters illustrate the complexities of moral choice within flawed systems, underscoring the narrative's refusal to simplify. The protagonist's relationship with her estranged father, though largely revealed through flashbacks and discovered writings, provides an emotional core that resonates throughout. These glimpses into the past contextualize her motivations and fears, highlighting themes of legacy and the search for belonging. The film poignantly portrays how unresolved familial trauma can cast long shadows, shaping decisions and perceptions. Additionally, the evolving dynamics within the team offer a microcosm of trust and power struggles. As alliances shift and suspicions rise, the film delves into the psychology of group behavior under stress. Characters reveal both altruism and self-interest, illustrating the fragile balance between cooperation and competition. These interactions serve as a backdrop for the protagonist's solitary journey, emphasizing her isolation even amid company. The emotional arc of the protagonist is particularly compelling in moments of vulnerability. When she confronts her fears, doubts her judgments, or allows herself brief connections with others. These scenes humanize her, making her resilience all the more inspiring because it emerges from struggle and pain. The film does not shy away from portraying her setbacks alongside triumphs, offering a realistic and empathetic portrait of endurance. In summary, the film's characters are richly drawn, complex individuals whose inner lives and relationships form the beating heart of the narrative. Their struggles with trust, identity, and morality are intricately woven into the story, providing depth and emotional weight. Through nuanced performances, layered writing, and thoughtful direction, these characters transcend archetypes, inviting viewers to engage deeply with their journeys and the themes they embody. It is this human complexity, rendered with honesty and artistry, that elevates the film from a mere thriller to a resonant exploration of the human spirit. The making of this film is as rich and layered as the story it tells, filled with fascinating behind-the-scenes tales, unusual occurrences, and curious trivia that add texture to its creation. These details reveal the human element behind the cinematic art, moments of serendipity, challenge, and creative ingenuity that shape the film in unexpected ways. Exploring these stories not only deepens our appreciation of the finished work but also underscores the unpredictable alchemy that brings a complex film to life. One of the earliest and most unusual facts concerns the film's primary location, the remote island that so vividly functions as both setting and character. The production team initially scouted several potential sites, but it was a lesser-known island, largely untouched by tourism and film crews, that captured their imagination. The island's natural beauty and eerie atmosphere perfectly matched the film's tone, but filming there presented significant logistical challenges. Transporting cast, crew, and equipment involved complex coordination with local authorities and reliance on weather-dependent boat trips. This isolation meant that the team had to be self-sufficient, setting up a temporary base camp with limited access to resources. Interestingly, the island's weather proved a wild card throughout the shoot. A persistent fog often rolled in unexpectedly, cloaking the landscape in a ghostly veil that lent an authenticity and mystique to many scenes. Initially a source of frustration, delaying shoots and complicating lighting setups, this natural phenomenon became a creative asset. The director and cinematographer adapted their plans to incorporate the fog as a visual motif, enhancing the film's themes of obscured truth and uncertainty. These atmospheric conditions, though unpredictable, ultimately enriched the film's mood and became inseparable from its visual identity. The island's wildlife also made several unscripted appearances, adding both charm and challenge to production. In one memorable incident, a curious flock of seabirds swooped unexpectedly during a critical scene, forcing multiple takes but providing stunning natural backdrops when finally captured on camera. On another occasion, a family of wild goats wandered onto the set during a nighttime shoot, their gleaming eyes catching the light and contributing an uncanny presence that heightened the scene's tension. These spontaneous interactions reminded the crew of the unpredictable power of working with nature and lent an organic vibrancy to the film. Among the cast, the lead actress's preparation for her role included a surprising immersion into the physical and emotional demands of archaeological fieldwork. Beyond traditional research and consultation with experts, she participated in an actual dig, learning to excavate artifacts, document findings, and endure the physical hardships of outdoor exploration. This hands-on experience informed her performance with a grounded authenticity that critics and audiences have since praised. It also forged a deep respect between the actress and the real-life archaeologists who advised the production, leading to ongoing collaborations beyond the film. The production also enlisted a cultural consultant specializing in the ancient civilization that inspired the film's fictional ruins. This expert advised on everything from the design of the artifacts and frescoes to the social and religious structures hinted at in the narrative. Their involvement ensured that the film's portrayal was not only imaginative but rooted in plausible historical context. This dedication to cultural accuracy extended to the linguistic elements. Some of the inscriptions and chants heard in the film were carefully crafted from reconstructed ancient languages, adding an immersive layer of realism. An unexpected challenge arose with the film's sound design, particularly in capturing the island's ambient noises authentically. Early recordings revealed that the natural soundscape was dominated by a pervasive low-frequency hum, likely from nearby shipping lanes, that conflicted with the desired atmospheric purity. The sound team employed a combination of remote microphones and digital filtering to isolate and enhance the island's organic sounds: waves crashing, wind rustling leaves, distant animal calls, crafting an auditory experience that feels both intimate and expansive. This painstaking work contributes significantly to the film's immersive quality. Lighting proved another area of both innovation and constraint. Given the reliance on natural light and the island's often overcast skies, the cinematography team developed custom reflectors and diffusers that could be quickly adjusted to shifting conditions. This adaptability allowed them to capture the subtle interplay of light and shadow that is so central to the film's aesthetic. On several occasions, natural golden hour light transformed ordinary scenes into moments of breathtaking beauty, captured with minimal artificial intervention. The result is a visual style that feels deeply connected to place and mood. The film's practical effects team faced the daunting task of simulating ancient ruins and subterranean labyrinths within the constraints of the island's geography and environmental protections. Rather than constructing large-scale sets, they employed a blend of practical miniatures, digital augmentation, and clever camera angles to create the illusion of vast, crumbling structures. This approach allowed for greater flexibility and environmental sensitivity while maintaining visual grandeur. One notable piece, a massive carved stone door, was a meticulously crafted prop that combined hand-carved textures with digital effects to achieve a seamless, monumental presence on screen. During filming, an unusual incident underscored the unpredictable nature of the production. A sudden storm, unexpected given the season, forced the crew to take shelter and delayed shooting for several days. While the weather disrupted plans, it also inspired a spontaneous rewrite of a key scene to incorporate the storm's raw power. This improvisation heightened the scene's emotional intensity and became a memorable highlight of the film. It is a testament to the creative flexibility and collaborative spirit that characterized the production. The film's soundtrack also carries an interesting backstory. The composer, known for blending traditional orchestration with electronic textures, took inspiration from the island's natural sounds and the ancient cultures that inspired the story. Field recordings made by the sound team were integrated into the score, creating a seamless fusion of music and environment. Certain motifs evolved in response to the filming process itself. The composer attended early shoots and workshops, tailoring themes to the actors' performances and the film's visual rhythms. This dynamic process resulted in a score that feels both timeless and intimately tied to the film's narrative. Casting included several local actors for supporting roles, a choice that added authenticity and enriched the cultural tapestry of the film. These actors brought perspectives and nuances that enhanced the depiction of community dynamics and local lore. Their involvement fostered meaningful exchanges between the production and local communities, who in turn provided invaluable knowledge about the island's history and environment. An intriguing piece of trivia involves the film's editing process. The initial cut was considerably longer and more meditative, with extended sequences of archaeological work and character introspection. However, test screenings revealed that while these scenes deepened atmosphere, they sometimes slowed narrative momentum. The editors and director collaborated to tighten pacing without sacrificing emotional depth, resulting in a final version that balances tension and reflection. This iterative process highlights the challenge of maintaining narrative engagement while preserving thematic complexity. The visual effects team also embraced innovative techniques to enhance scenes without overwhelming them. For instance, the depiction of the island's shifting tides and mist was achieved through a combination of practical fog machines and digital compositing, creating an ethereal, almost otherworldly ambience. Subtle digital enhancements, such as adjusting the color of water or amplifying the glow of ancient inscriptions, were carefully calibrated to preserve realism while enhancing storytelling. Throughout the production, safety remained paramount, especially given the remote location and physically demanding shoots. The team implemented rigorous protocols, including specialized training for cast and crew in wilderness survival and emergency response. These measures ensured that despite challenging conditions, the production proceeded smoothly and safely, a factor often overlooked in the final product but essential to its successful realization. Finally, a lesser-known fact that delights fans of cinematic history. The film's director made a deliberate nod to classic adventure and mystery cinema through a series of visual homages and thematic echoes. Certain shots reference iconic sequences from earlier films, while the narrative structure subtly mirrors archetypal quests and journeys. These elements create a rich intertextual layer that rewards attentive viewers and situates the film within a broader cinematic tradition. In conclusion, the making of this film is a tapestry woven with remarkable stories, of natural beauty and challenge, of creative problem-solving and collaborative spirit, of respect for history and innovation in craft. These behind-the-scenes facts illuminate the human dedication and unexpected serendipities that breathe life into the story we see on screen. Understanding these elements enriches our viewing experience, reminding us that every frame carries with it a history of effort, passion, and sometimes delightful unpredictability. The film unfolds not merely as a sequence of plot points but as a series of carefully crafted events that ripple outward, resonating deeply within its thematic core and shaping the audience's emotional journey. To truly appreciate the layers beneath the surface, one must examine these pivotal moments from a critical perspective, understanding how they function both narratively and symbolically, and how they contribute to the film's lasting impact and reception. The opening sequences establish a tone of quiet unease, a world cloaked in mist and mystery, where every shadow hints at hidden histories. This atmospheric beginning is not incidental but purposeful, signaling that the island itself is more than a setting. It is a living entity that mirrors the psychological terrain of the protagonist. Critics have noted how this early emphasis on environment over exposition invites viewers into a sensory experience, one that demands attention to detail and rewards patience. The interplay of sound and visual composition here introduces themes of isolation and the unknowable, laying groundwork for the unfolding tension. A crucial early event is the discovery of the carved tablet, an artifact laden with cryptic inscriptions that hint at exile and vengeance. From a critical viewpoint, this moment serves as a narrative and symbolic linchpin. It marks the transition from exploration to confrontation, where history's shadow begins to loom large over the present. The tablet's dual role, as a key to the past and a source of conflict, embodies the film's central tension between uncovering truth and confronting danger. Scholars and reviewers alike have highlighted how this discovery propels the plot while deepening thematic inquiries into memory, legacy, and the burdens of knowledge. The film's use of flashbacks to reveal the protagonist's fractured past adds another layer of complexity. These sequences are more than backstory. They function as psychological windows, allowing viewers to trace the emotional roots of Lila's obsession and fear. Critical analysis often points to the seamless integration of these flashbacks with present-day events as a testament to the film's narrative sophistication. Rather than disrupting flow, they create a temporal dialogue that enriches character development and amplifies suspense. The past and present collide in ways that complicate linear storytelling, reflecting the film's exploration of how memory shapes identity and perception. As the team's internal dynamics unravel, moments of tension and betrayal take center stage. The theft of a crucial artifact reveals fractures in trust, and the ensuing suspicion permeates the group's interactions. From a critical perspective, these interpersonal conflicts echo broader societal themes: power struggles, ethical ambiguity, and the precariousness of human relationships under pressure. The film invites viewers to consider not only individual motives but the systemic forces that influence behavior and decision-making. Critics have praised the nuanced portrayal of these dynamics, noting that they avoid simplistic villainy or heroism in favor of moral complexity. One of the film's most compelling sequences involves the protagonist's descent into the subterranean labyrinth beneath the ruins. This event is charged with symbolic significance, often interpreted as a metaphor for the journey into the subconscious or the confrontation with buried trauma. The labyrinth's oppressive darkness and confounding twists are visual and narrative manifestations of the protagonist's internal struggles, her fears, doubts, and memories that refuse to remain hidden. Critical essays have explored how this descent functions as a rite of passage, marking a turning point where external adventure and internal revelation converge. The revelation that ties the island's ancient history to the protagonist's family legacy is a masterstroke of narrative design, weaving personal and mythic threads into a cohesive whole. This connection elevates the story from a mere mystery to a meditation on inheritance and the intergenerational transmission of trauma and resilience. Critics often note how this intertwining deepens the emotional stakes, making the protagonist's quest not only a search for facts but a reckoning with identity. The film's ability to blend the intimate with the epic has been cited as a key factor in its resonance with audiences and scholars alike. Environmental challenges, most notably the violent storm that isolates the characters, serve both practical and symbolic functions. The tempest disrupts communication and heightens physical danger, intensifying suspense and forcing characters into confrontation and cooperation. Symbolically, the storm represents chaos, transformation, and the uncontrollable forces of nature and fate. This dual role enriches the film's thematic landscape, underscoring the precariousness of human endeavor against larger, indifferent powers. Critics have lauded the sequence for its visceral impact and metaphorical depth, highlighting its contribution to the film's immersive tension. The film's climax, a confrontation amid the ruins in the storm's aftermath, crystallizes the narrative's central conflicts. The final struggle is both physical and psychological, a culmination of betrayals, revelations, and shifting alliances. From a critical standpoint, this sequence exemplifies the film's synthesis of genre conventions and thematic inquiry. It satisfies expectations of suspense and resolution while maintaining emotional and moral complexity. The choreography of action and character beats ensures that the climax resonates beyond spectacle, reinforcing themes of justice, survival, and self-discovery. The resolution offers a nuanced closure that resists simple catharsis. The protagonist emerges changed, scarred but empowered, with the island's secrets laid bare yet retaining an aura of mystery. Critics have praised this ending for its emotional honesty and refusal to provide easy answers, emphasizing the film's commitment to realism within its mythic framework. The ambiguous elements invite ongoing interpretation and reflection, ensuring the story's life beyond the screen. Thematically, the film has been recognized for its layered exploration of memory, identity, and the search for truth. It engages with the complexities of trauma and healing, the fragility of trust, and the enduring impact of history, both personal and collective. Scholars have analyzed how these themes intersect with the film's narrative structure and symbolism, noting how the interplay of past and present deepens meaning. The film's willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and moral ambiguity sets it apart within its genre, offering a thought-provoking meditation on human resilience. Emotionally, the film connects through its portrayal of vulnerability and strength. The protagonist's journey resonates as a universal story of loss and redemption, inviting empathy and reflection. The supporting characters' multifaceted portrayals further enrich this emotional tapestry, illustrating diverse responses to crisis and connection. Audience reactions, as documented in reviews and discussions, reveal a strong engagement with the characters' struggles and growth, underscoring the film's power to evoke both tension and compassion. From a broader cultural perspective, the film's events and themes have sparked dialogue about the nature of history, the ethics of discovery, and the legacies we inherit. Its depiction of archaeology and cultural memory raises questions about respect, interpretation, and the responsibilities tied to uncovering the past. This engagement extends beyond entertainment, inviting viewers to consider their own relationships to history and identity. Critics have highlighted this cultural dimension as a key factor in the film's critical acclaim and scholarly interest. In terms of impact and reception, the film has been praised for balancing suspenseful storytelling with intellectual and emotional depth. Its careful construction of narrative events, combined with rich thematic content, creates a viewing experience that satisfies genre expectations while transcending them. Audience and critical responses alike reflect appreciation for the film's complexity, artistry, and resonance. The film has sparked discussions in film circles, academic forums, and fan communities, demonstrating its multifaceted appeal. Ultimately, the significant events within the film function on multiple levels, as plot drivers, thematic explorations, and emotional catalysts. Each moment is layered with meaning, inviting viewers to engage actively and thoughtfully. The film's success lies in its ability to intertwine these elements seamlessly, creating a work that is as intellectually stimulating as it is viscerally gripping. Through its carefully crafted events, the film offers a profound reflection on human nature, memory, and the enduring quest for truth. The journey from script to screen is always a complex, unpredictable, and often magical process. This film's production was no exception, a blend of meticulous planning, creative problem-solving, and serendipitous moments that together forged a cinematic work as evocative and textured as the story it tells. To truly appreciate the finished film's depth, one must delve into the rich tapestry of its creation. How the vision was shaped, how obstacles were met and transformed into opportunities, and how the passion and ingenuity of the cast and crew breathed life into every frame. From the very beginning, the filmmakers were committed to creating an authentic and immersive experience that captured both the haunting beauty of the island setting and the intimate emotional world of the characters. Location scouting was a crucial and challenging phase. The production team sought a place that felt untouched and mysterious, one that could serve as both a character and a narrative vessel. After extensive research and numerous trips, they settled on a remote island, accessible only by boat and largely undeveloped. This decision came with its own set of challenges, logistical hurdles, weather unpredictability, and environmental protections, but the filmmakers felt that no artificial set or soundstage could replicate the island's unique atmosphere. Transporting equipment and personnel to the island was a logistical feat. The production had to coordinate multiple boat trips, each carefully timed to avoid rough seas and tide changes. Everything from cameras and lighting rigs to food supplies and medical equipment had to be shipped in, creating a temporary, self-sufficient community on the island. The crew established base camps with modular tents and portable power sources, creating a rugged but functional production hub. This level of planning underscored the team's commitment to environmental responsibility. Strict protocols were followed to minimize impact on the fragile ecosystem, including waste management and restrictions on certain areas. One of the more memorable behind-the-scenes stories involves the weather, a constant character that shaped the shooting schedule and mood. The island is known for its fog and sudden storms, and while these conditions were sometimes a source of frustration, they also became integral to the film's visual identity. On several occasions, scenes planned for clear skies were enveloped in thick mist, forcing the cinematography team to improvise lighting setups and camera movements. The director embraced these moments, encouraging the use of natural fog to enhance the film's themes of mystery and uncertainty. The resulting footage captured an eerie, dreamlike quality that became a hallmark of the film's aesthetic. The cinematographer's approach to lighting was particularly innovative. Preferring natural and practical light sources over artificial setups, the team devised custom reflectors and diffusers that could be quickly adapted to the changing outdoor conditions. This approach demanded flexibility and quick thinking, as the natural light on the island shifts dramatically with the weather and time of day. The result is a visual palette rich in subtle shadows and highlights, which mirrors the film's themes of hidden truths and fragmented memories. Many crew members have remarked on the almost poetic relationship between light and story that developed throughout the shoot. Sound design was another area where production insights reveal the film's meticulous craftsmanship. Early recordings captured the island's ambient sounds, the crashing waves, the whispering wind through trees, distant bird calls, forming a natural soundscape that informed both on-set practices and post-production work. However, challenges arose when ambient noise from passing boats and nearby shipping lanes threatened to intrude on quiet scenes. The sound team responded with a combination of remote microphones, directional recording techniques, and digital filtering to isolate desired sounds and minimize distractions. Their work resulted in a deeply immersive auditory experience that draws viewers into the island's enveloping atmosphere. The musical score, composed through a collaborative process, integrated these natural sounds to create an organic and evocative soundtrack. The composer visited the island during filming, capturing field recordings that were woven into the score's textures. This fusion of environmental sounds with orchestral and electronic elements produces a haunting and intimate musical language, underscoring emotional beats and amplifying suspense. The composer's notes reveal an iterative process, where early edits of scenes influenced musical themes, and musical motifs in turn shaped final edits, demonstrating a dynamic interplay between sound and image. The production's dedication to authenticity extended to the design of the ancient ruins and artifacts central to the plot. The art department conducted thorough research into archaeological methods and ancient cultures, consulting experts to ensure plausibility and cultural sensitivity. Rather than building large sets, they employed a combination of practical miniatures, detailed props, and digital augmentation. One standout piece was a massive carved stone door, hand-sculpted with intricate reliefs and enhanced with digital textures. This blend of traditional craftsmanship and modern technology allowed for flexibility and visual grandeur while respecting the story's grounded tone. The lead actress's commitment to her role also offers fascinating insights into the film's creation. She undertook extensive preparation, including actual archaeological fieldwork under the guidance of professionals. This hands-on experience informed her portrayal with a depth of understanding and physical realism that elevated her performance. She has spoken in interviews about the transformative nature of this preparation, describing how the rhythms of excavation and discovery helped her inhabit her character's mindset and emotional journey. This immersive method acting created a synergy with the film's visual and thematic ambitions. Casting also reflected a commitment to authenticity and diversity. Several supporting roles were filled by local actors, whose presence brought nuanced cultural layers to the narrative. Their involvement fostered a meaningful exchange with the local community, who shared oral histories and environmental knowledge that informed the production. This collaboration extended beyond casting, with community members often advising on customs, traditions, and the ecological context, enriching the film's texture and credibility. The production faced moments of unforeseen challenge that tested the team's resilience and creativity. A sudden storm during a crucial nighttime shoot forced a halt in filming and a rapid rethinking of schedules. Rather than seeing this as a setback, the director and crew embraced the storm's raw power, rewriting a key scene to incorporate the tempest's chaos. This spontaneous decision added a visceral intensity to the narrative, exemplifying the production's flexible and inventive spirit. Editing was a process marked by thoughtful refinement. The initial cut was longer and more contemplative, featuring extended sequences that emphasized atmosphere and character introspection. Feedback from test screenings prompted a rebalancing of pacing to maintain suspense and audience engagement. Editors worked closely with the director to streamline the narrative while preserving emotional nuance, a collaboration that resulted in a film that is both taut and richly textured. The editing choices, such as cross-cutting between timelines and perspectives, enhance the story's psychological depth and thematic complexity. Visual effects were deployed with subtlety and care, supporting practical sets without overwhelming the film's grounded tone. Effects teams used digital tools to extend landscapes, enhance atmospheric elements like mist and water, and subtly animate the ancient carvings' glow in key scenes. These effects were carefully calibrated to maintain a sense of realism and avoid drawing attention away from the human drama. The seamless integration of practical and digital effects has been widely praised as a technical achievement that serves narrative immersion. Safety was a paramount concern throughout the shoot, given the demanding location and physically challenging scenes. The production provided extensive training in wilderness survival, emergency response, and stunt safety. Medical personnel were on site throughout filming, ensuring rapid response to any incidents. The collaborative environment fostered a culture of care and respect, enabling the cast and crew to perform demanding work with confidence and mutual support. A delightful piece of trivia is the director's intentional homage to classic adventure films. Several visual cues and narrative structures pay subtle tribute to the genre's history, embedding the film within a cinematic tradition while forging its own distinct identity. These nods offer an added layer of engagement for cinephiles, connecting the film's contemporary story to the broader tapestry of storytelling. In conclusion, the production of this film was a journey of passion, innovation, and collaboration. The behind-the-scenes stories reveal a creative team deeply committed to authenticity and artistic integrity, navigating challenges with ingenuity and grace. From the island's rugged terrain to the intimate performances, from sound design to visual effects, every facet of the filmmaking process contributed to a work that is as compelling behind the camera as it is on screen. These insights enrich our appreciation of the film, reminding us that great cinema is born from the interplay of vision, craft, and the unpredictable magic of creation. The setting of this film breathes like a living, breathing entity, becoming far more than a mere backdrop for the unfolding narrative. It is a crucial storyteller in its own right, a character etched in stone, mist, and shadow, whose every curve and crevice reflects the film's deepest emotional and thematic currents. The choice of location, the nuanced interplay between natural environment and human presence, and the masterful use of cinematic language collectively sculpt an immersive atmosphere that pulls the viewer into a world as enigmatic as it is palpable. From the opening moments, the island introduces itself not simply as geography but as a presence infused with history and mystery. Rugged cliffs rise precipitously against a slate-gray sky, their surfaces worn smooth by centuries of relentless waves. Dense, tangled forests cloak the island's interior, where shafts of pale sunlight struggle through layers of mist and leaf canopy. Hidden among the trees, ancient ruins emerge, weathered stone carved with cryptic symbols, half swallowed by moss and time. This setting is a visual metaphor for the film's core themes: the tension between revelation and concealment, the collision of past and present, and the fragile boundary between memory and oblivion. The filmmaker's decision to shoot on location in a remote and largely untouched island was both a logistical challenge and an artistic triumph. The island's isolation enhances the narrative's themes of solitude and entrapment, mirroring the protagonist's psychological state. The natural soundscape, the constant crash of waves, the rustling of leaves, the distant cries of seabirds, was captured authentically, enveloping the film in a sensory richness that studio sets could never replicate. This authenticity grounds the story in a tactile reality while allowing the island's ethereal qualities to elevate the film's haunting mood. Cinematographically, the island's landscapes are rendered with a painterly eye, using wide panoramic shots to convey both grandeur and vulnerability. Sweeping aerial sequences reveal the island's jagged contours, the relentless ocean swirling below, and the sprawling ruins nestled amidst wild vegetation. These vistas create a sense of scale that underscores the smallness and fragility of human endeavors against the vast forces of nature and time. The cinematographer's use of natural light, soft diffused mornings, golden hours tinged with warmth, and brooding overcast days, shifts the visual tone subtly, marking changes in mood and narrative tension. Intimate scenes contrast with these grand views through tight framing and shallow depth of field, drawing attention inward to characters' faces and details that might otherwise be overlooked. A trembling hand tracing ancient glyphs, beads of sweat on furrowed brows, glimmers of understanding or fear in the eyes. This duality between expansive environment and focused human presence reflects the film's exploration of how vast, unknowable histories intersect with deeply personal struggles. The visual style invites viewers to experience the island both as a magnificent, almost mythic realm and as a confining, sometimes claustrophobic prison. The island's physical features themselves serve as symbolic touchstones throughout the film. The cliffs, jagged and unyielding, echo themes of danger and inevitability, barriers between safety and the unknown. Scenes perched on rocky ledges use vertical compositions and looming rock faces to evoke a sense of precariousness, a visual metaphor for the protagonist's emotional balance. Meanwhile, the dense forest, both sheltering and threatening, embodies the complexity of memory, a tangled place where truths can be hidden or revealed depending on one's path. One of the film's most striking uses of setting is the subterranean labyrinth beneath the ruins. This claustrophobic environment is rendered with a mastery of light and shadow, using minimal illumination to create a world of flickering darkness and uncertain edges. The labyrinth's twisting corridors and echoing chambers become a physical manifestation of the protagonist's internal journey, a maze of memory and trauma that must be navigated with care and courage. Cinematic techniques such as tight framing, handheld camera work, and restrained color grading amplify the sense of disorientation and suspense, making the viewer feel as trapped and uncertain as the character. The play of light throughout the film is particularly noteworthy. Daylight scenes often feature a muted, cool palette, blues and grays that evoke melancholy and distance, while scenes at dawn or dusk infuse the frame with warmer tones, suggesting moments of insight or emotional openness. Night sequences, lit by flickering torches or moonlight filtering through leaves, create a chiaroscuro effect, emphasizing contrasts between knowledge and ignorance, safety and danger. This deliberate use of lighting reinforces the narrative's thematic preoccupations and deepens emotional resonance. Sound design further complements the setting, turning natural noises into a symphonic backdrop that enhances the film's immersive quality. The rhythmic crash of waves becomes a heartbeat of the island, anchoring scenes in place and time. Whispering winds and the creak of ancient would heighten tension in moments of suspense, while silence is employed to evoke isolation and introspection. The seamless integration of diegetic sounds with the musical score blurs boundaries, making the environment an active participant in the story's emotional arc. The ruins themselves are a marvel of production design. Drawing inspiration from a blend of real-world ancient cultures, the sets and props were meticulously crafted to evoke authenticity and mystery. Weathering effects, moss growth, crumbling stone, faded pigments, suggest a history both rich and eroded. Symbolic carvings etched into walls and artifacts serve as visual motifs that recur throughout the film, inviting viewers to decode their meaning alongside the protagonist. These design elements reinforce the narrative's emphasis on the persistence of history and the traces it leaves behind. Throughout the film, the setting acts as a mirror and a canvas, reflecting the protagonist's evolving psyche while providing a space where the story's broader themes can unfold visually. The interplay between human presence and natural environment speaks to the tension between control and surrender, knowledge and mystery. The island is both sanctuary and prison, a place where secrets are buried and unearthed, where beauty and danger coexist in fragile balance. The director's vision for the setting was clearly one of symbiosis, where location informs narrative and mood, and narrative shapes our perception of place. This vision guided every creative decision, from location scouting and set design to camera placement and lighting schemes. The result is a film whose atmosphere is inseparable from its story, where every frame feels infused with purpose and emotional weight. Critics have widely acknowledged how the film's setting and cinematic elements elevate it beyond conventional genre fare. Reviews often highlight the immersive world-building and the evocative use of natural environments to deepen the psychological tension. Scholars have noted the film's sophisticated use of visual metaphors and environmental storytelling, praising its ability to communicate complex themes through mood and imagery rather than exposition alone. Audience reactions reflect an appreciation for the film's sensory richness and atmospheric depth. Viewers report feeling transported to the island's enigmatic landscape, experiencing its isolation and beauty viscerally. This engagement enhances emotional investment in the characters' journeys, making suspense and revelation all the more affecting. In sum, the film's setting and cinematic elements are a masterclass in how place and visual storytelling can intertwine to create a compelling, resonant experience. The island's wild beauty and ancient mysteries become a crucible for the narrative's emotional and thematic exploration. Through careful craftsmanship and inspired artistic choices, the filmmakers have crafted a world that lingers in the imagination long after the credits roll. A world that invites contemplation, discovery, and wonder. The making of this film was an odyssey marked by moments of joy, tension, and camaraderie, an intricate dance behind the scenes that brought the script's layered world to vivid life. Behind every frame lies a mosaic of stories, some surprising, others challenging, that reveal the human spirit powering the cinematic experience. One of the earliest and most heartwarming stories from the set involves the rapport that blossomed among the cast during their first days on location. Cast away from the bustle of city life, with limited internet and long hours together, they quickly forged bonds that transcended professional necessity. Mornings often began with shared coffee rituals, and evenings ended with impromptu gatherings around campfires, where stories and laughter wove a tapestry of connection. The lead actress, known for her warmth and humor, often took the role of bringing the group together, easing tensions and fostering a supportive atmosphere. This sense of community helped sustain morale during physically and emotionally demanding shoots, providing a foundation of trust essential for the vulnerability required on camera. The crew, too, found creative ways to lighten the mood amid grueling schedules and unpredictable conditions. One memorable anecdote tells of the cinematographer and sound engineer collaborating to create a playful island symphony, using found objects, driftwood, shells, stones, to improvise percussion instruments during breaks. This spontaneous moment of musicality became a cherished memory, emblematic of the inventive and joyful spirit that permeated the production despite its challenges. Such instances of levity were vital, serving as reminders of shared purpose and humanity in the face of demanding work. Filming on the remote island presented a host of challenges that tested the team's adaptability and problem-solving skills. The terrain itself was often unforgiving. Steep, slippery cliffs and dense forests complicated equipment transport and scene setups. To navigate this, the production employed a system of pulley rigs and all-terrain vehicles where possible, supplemented by the cast and crew's own stamina and teamwork. Daily safety briefings and continuous risk assessments were standard, ensuring that creativity never compromised well-being. Stories abound of collective effort, actors helping carry heavy gear, crew members scouting ahead for safer paths, demonstrating a shared commitment to overcoming obstacles. Weather proved to be one of the most unpredictable elements. The island's microclimate led to sudden fog banks and torrential downpours, sometimes derailing carefully planned shoots. On one occasion, a critical scene scheduled for golden hour light was enveloped by thick fog minutes before filming was to begin. Instead of postponing, the director embraced the unexpected, reimagining the scene to incorporate the ethereal mist, enhancing the film's mood and thematic resonance. This flexibility became a hallmark of the shoot, with the entire team learning to work with, rather than against, nature's whims. The experience fostered a sense of humility and wonder, as the film itself seemed to be shaped in dialogue with its environment. The lead actress's preparation also brought surprising moments that enriched the production. As part of her immersion into the role, she joined a real archaeological dig for several weeks before shooting. This experience, intense and demanding, led to a profound physical and emotional connection with the work. Stories from the dig, of long hours in the sun, the thrill of uncovering artifacts, and the exhaustion of manual labor, became part of the set's collective lore. Her commitment inspired the entire cast and crew, reinforcing the film's dedication to authenticity. It also deepened her performance, grounding her portrayal in lived experience rather than mere imitation. On set, the dynamics between the lead and supporting actors added layers to the narrative's emotional texture. One particularly touching story involves an unscripted moment during a tense scene. The actors' genuine concern for each other's safety led to a spontaneous embrace, captured on film and retained in the final cut. This moment of real connection heightened the scene's impact, illustrating how off-screen relationships can inform and enrich storytelling. The director's open approach to collaboration encouraged such authenticity, fostering an environment where actors felt safe to explore vulnerability. Technical challenges were met with innovation and teamwork. Lighting the dense forest scenes proved difficult due to the thick canopy and uneven terrain. The cinematography team devised portable lighting arrays powered by battery packs, designed to mimic natural sunlight filtering through leaves. These rigs were lightweight and flexible, allowing quick repositioning as scenes evolved. The ingenuity behind these solutions showcases the blend of artistry and engineering vital to creating the film's distinctive look. Crew members recall long hours experimenting with angles and intensity, often celebrating small breakthroughs that transformed challenging environments into cinematic gems. The film's sound department also had their share of behind-the-scenes stories. Capturing clean audio in an environment alive with wind, water, and wildlife demanded patience and precision. The sound team developed custom windshields for microphones and used creative placement strategies to minimize interference. During a crucial dialogue-heavy scene near the crashing shore, technicians had to time recording between waves, a delicate dance requiring coordination and timing. These efforts contributed significantly to the film's immersive quality, anchoring the narrative in a believable and atmospheric soundscape. Safety protocols extended beyond environmental concerns. Given the film's physical demands, including scenes involving climbing and traversing unstable ruins, professional stunt coordinators worked closely with actors to ensure safe execution. The lead actress underwent rigorous training in climbing techniques and stunt safety, a process that not only prevented injury but also enhanced the authenticity of action sequences. Anecdotes from rehearsals highlight moments of mutual encouragement, where cast and crew rallied to support each other through physically intense scenes. The director's leadership style played a pivotal role in managing the production's challenges and fostering a positive atmosphere. Known for a collaborative approach, the director held regular meetings to solicit input from all departments, valuing creative ideas from crew members regardless of role. This openness led to innovative solutions and a strong sense of shared ownership. On one occasion, a prop designer suggested a minor adjustment to an artifact's design that ended up inspiring a key plot element, demonstrating how the film's narrative evolved through collective creativity. Another noteworthy behind-the-scenes aspect was the use of local talent and resources. The production employed several local artisans to craft props and assist with set construction, embedding the film within the island's cultural and economic context. This collaboration brought authenticity and supported the local community, enriching the film's texture and social resonance. The cast and crew frequently expressed gratitude for the warmth and generosity of local residents, who often shared stories and traditions that informed the film's cultural backdrop. The production also embraced sustainability practices, a reflection of both the island's ecological sensitivity and the team's environmental ethics. Measures included minimizing waste, using biodegradable materials where possible, and prioritizing renewable energy sources for power needs. These efforts sometimes complicated logistics but were seen as essential to respecting the location and aligning the production's values with its narrative themes of harmony and respect for nature. Post-production was marked by a similarly collaborative and iterative process. Editors worked closely with the director and composer, experimenting with pacing, scene order, and musical cues to refine the film's emotional rhythm. Test screenings played a crucial role, with audience feedback guiding adjustments that balanced suspense and character development. This openness to revision exemplifies the team's commitment to crafting a film that resonates deeply and thoughtfully. In conclusion, the behind-the-scenes journey of this film is a story of resilience, creativity, and human connection. The cast and crew navigated physical challenges and creative dilemmas with ingenuity and spirit, forging a production environment rich in collaboration and mutual support. These insights reveal the often unseen human effort and joy behind cinematic art, reminding us that every frame carries the imprint of dedication, adaptability, and shared passion. The film's success is as much a tribute to this collective endeavor as to its artistic vision, making the story behind the camera as compelling as the one on screen. The film's rich thematic tapestry unfolds subtly yet insistently, inviting viewers into a world where every shadow, every whispered secret, resonates with deeper meaning. Themes of memory, identity, betrayal, and redemption weave through the narrative like an invisible thread, shaping characters' journeys and coloring the film's mood with emotional complexity. These themes do not merely sit on the surface. They pulse beneath each scene, reflected and refracted through symbolism that enriches the story's psychological and emotional landscape. At the core lies the theme of memory, its fragility, its persistence, and its power to shape identity. The island, with its ancient ruins and hidden chambers, serves as a metaphor for the mind's recesses where memories are buried, distorted, or preserved. The protagonist's quest to uncover the past is as much an inward excavation of her own history as it is an outward search for archaeological truth. This duality invites reflection on how personal and collective memories intertwine, how they can haunt or heal, and how confronting the past is essential for self-understanding. The film's nonlinear narrative, with its shifting timelines and flashbacks, mirrors this thematic concern by mimicking the fragmented and layered nature of memory itself. Symbolism related to water is pervasive and multifaceted. The ever-present ocean, with its ceaseless tides and hidden depths, symbolizes the subconscious, the vast, unknowable realm beneath conscious awareness. Scenes where characters stand at cliff edges overlooking turbulent seas capture moments of emotional precipice, decision, and transformation. Water also represents cleansing and renewal, a motif echoed in moments of rain or mist that seem to wash away past burdens or obscure truth, emphasizing the fluid and elusive quality of reality and memory. This elemental symbolism enriches the narrative by connecting human emotion to the natural world's rhythms. Light and shadow play a critical symbolic role throughout the film, reflecting themes of knowledge and ignorance, revelation and concealment. The protagonist's journey is visually marked by moving from darkness into light, both literally and metaphorically, as she uncovers truths long hidden. Shadows often envelop characters at moments of doubt or danger, while shafts of light illuminate discoveries and moments of clarity. This chiaroscuro effect underscores the moral and psychological ambiguity permeating the story, where certainty is rare and truths are layered. Cinematic techniques amplify this symbolism, with careful lighting choices that deepen the emotional texture and thematic resonance. The labyrinth beneath the ruins stands as a powerful symbol of the inner journey, the maze of the mind where fear, trauma, and hidden truths reside. Its twisting corridors and oppressive darkness evoke the challenges of confronting one's deepest anxieties and the difficulty of finding a path through confusion and pain. The labyrinth's physical and psychological complexity mirrors the protagonist's struggle to piece together fragmented memories and to reconcile with a past marked by loss and betrayal. This symbol invites viewers to consider the universal human experience of grappling with inner darkness and the quest for understanding. Betrayal emerges as another central theme, manifesting both in personal relationships and broader social dynamics. The fractured trust within the excavation team and the antagonist's duplicitous actions reflect how betrayal can corrode bonds and complicate quests for truth and justice. The film explores the emotional and moral fallout of betrayal, emphasizing its capacity to isolate and wound while also forcing confrontation and growth. This theme is intricately tied to the narrative's suspense, as revelations of duplicity shift alliances and challenge assumptions, driving both plot and character development. Redemption weaves through the story as a hopeful counterpoint to loss and betrayal. The protagonist's journey is as much about reclaiming agency and repairing fractured identity as it is about solving external mysteries. Moments of forgiveness, self-acceptance, and connection offer glimpses of healing amid the film's darker currents. This theme is symbolized through recurring motifs, such as the breaking of chains, the clearing of mist, or the dawn's first light, that suggest possibility and renewal. Redemption here is not presented as facile or guaranteed, but as a hard-won process that requires courage and openness. The film also engages with themes of legacy and inheritance, how the past shapes the present and the responsibilities that come with uncovering hidden histories. The protagonist's family connection to the island's secrets illustrates the intergenerational transmission of trauma and knowledge. This theme invites contemplation on the weight of ancestry and the ethical complexities of unearthing buried truths. The narrative raises questions about ownership of history and the ways in which personal and collective identities are constructed and contested. Symbolism related to artifacts and ruins underscores these themes of history and memory. The carved tablet, frescoes, and ancient structures serve as tangible links to the past, embodying stories and secrets that transcend time. Their weathered surfaces and partial destruction suggest both loss and endurance, the persistence of meaning despite decay. The film's attention to the tactile and visual details of these objects highlights their role as vessels of cultural memory and as catalysts for revelation and conflict. The interplay between natural and constructed environments also carries symbolic weight. The contrast between the wild, untamed island and the human-made ruins reflects tensions between nature and culture, chaos and order, the ephemeral and the enduring. This dynamic underscores the narrative's exploration of human impact, both destructive and preservative, and invites reflection on the relationship between place and identity. Characters themselves embody thematic contrasts and complexities. The protagonist's vulnerability alongside determination mirrors the film's balance of fragility and resilience. The antagonist's charisma coupled with moral ambiguity embodies the seductive dangers of power and deception. Supporting characters reflect a spectrum of ethical and emotional responses, illustrating the multifaceted nature of human experience in crisis. The film's use of motifs, such as reflections, thresholds, and cycles, reinforces its thematic depth. Reflections in water or polished stone symbolize introspection and duality, thresholds mark moments of transition and choice, and cyclical imagery evokes the persistence of history and memory. These motifs enrich the visual and narrative fabric, encouraging viewers to engage with the film on multiple interpretive levels. Ultimately, the themes and symbolism are woven into every aspect of the film, from narrative structure and character development to cinematography and sound design. This holistic integration creates a work that is not only compelling as a story but profound as an exploration of human consciousness and cultural memory. The film invites viewers to ponder how we navigate the terrain of our pasts, how we confront the shadows within and without, and how the search for truth is often entwined with the quest for self. In sum, the film's thematic and symbolic richness transforms it into a layered meditation on memory, identity, betrayal, and redemption. Its imagery and motifs resonate beyond the screen, inviting ongoing reflection and dialogue. Through its complex characters and evocative storytelling, the film offers a deeply human experience, one that acknowledges pain and uncertainty while holding space for hope and transformation. This interplay of theme and symbol is the beating heart of the film, shaping its emotional power and enduring impact. The art of filmmaking is a symphony of countless intricate elements, woven together by the creative hands and minds of a dedicated team. This film stands as a testament to that collaborative craft, where every choice, from camera angles to soundscapes, editing rhythms to lighting nuances, coalesces into a compelling cinematic experience. Exploring the filmmaking techniques employed here reveals how these decisions shape the atmosphere, intensify emotional resonance, and guide the viewer through a narrative rich with suspense, mystery, and psychological depth. From the outset, the director and cinematographer embraced a visual language that immerses the audience fully in the story's world. The decision to shoot predominantly on location, amidst the island's raw and unpredictable landscape, set the tone for an organic, immersive aesthetic. Natural light plays a central role in the film's visual identity. Rather than relying heavily on artificial lighting, the filmmakers favored available daylight, augmented selectively with portable reflectors and soft fill lights to maintain mood and clarity. This approach creates a tangible sense of place, an environment alive with shifting shadows, muted colors, and textures that evoke the passage of time and the weight of history. The camera work is characterized by its fluidity and intimacy. The cinematographer employs a blend of steady tracking shots and handheld movements, alternating between contemplative stillness and kinetic energy. In moments of quiet discovery, the camera lingers with gentle steadiness, inviting viewers to absorb the details and the emotional undercurrents. Conversely, during scenes of tension or danger, handheld shots inject immediacy and unpredictability, mirroring the character's anxiety and disorientation. This dynamic interplay of camera styles amplifies the narrative's psychological texture, making the audience feel both observer and participant. Framing and composition are meticulously crafted to enhance thematic resonance. The use of negative space, vast expanses of sky, sea, or shadow, emphasizes characters' isolation and vulnerability. Tight close-ups capture fleeting expressions, translating subtle emotional shifts into visual poetry. The recurring motif of doorways, thresholds, and frames within frames serves as a visual metaphor for transitions, secrets, and the boundaries between known and unknown. These compositional choices are not mere aesthetics but integral narrative devices that enrich the storytelling on a subconscious level. Color grading further shapes the film's atmosphere, utilizing a palette that oscillates between cool, desaturated tones and warmer, earthier hues. The cooler shades, blues, grays, and muted greens, dominate scenes of mystery and uncertainty, evoking a sense of melancholy and detachment. Warmer tones appear in moments of revelation, memory, or emotional connection, offering visual relief and emphasizing thematic contrasts. This deliberate color strategy guides the viewer's emotional journey, subtly cueing shifts in mood and narrative tension. Sound design is a cornerstone of the film's immersive quality. The ambient sounds of the island, waves crashing, wind rustling leaves, distant bird calls, are captured with exquisite clarity and layered meticulously to create a living, breathing soundscape. These natural elements are not simply background noise but active participants in the narrative, heightening suspense and anchoring scenes in a tangible reality. The sound team's attention to detail extends to the subtle textures of footsteps on gravel, the echoing drip of water in subterranean chambers, and the distant rumble of storms, all of which contribute to an enveloping auditory experience. The film's score complements this soundscape with a blend of orchestral and electronic elements, crafted to underscore emotional beats without overwhelming the natural sounds. The composer employs recurring motifs that evolve alongside the narrative, weaving a musical thread that binds scenes together. Moments of tension are heightened with dissonant, pulsating tones, while scenes of introspection and revelation are accompanied by haunting, melodic passages. This interplay of sound and music enhances the film's psychological depth, drawing viewers into the protagonist's inner world. Editing plays a crucial role in shaping the film's rhythm and narrative clarity. The editorial team balances deliberate pacing with moments of urgency, crafting a flow that mirrors the protagonist's journey of discovery and confrontation. Early scenes unfold with a measured pace, allowing time for atmosphere and character development. As the plot thickens, cuts become sharper and more frequent, accelerating tension and mirroring rising stakes. Cross-cutting between timelines and perspectives adds complexity without sacrificing coherence, inviting viewers to piece together fragmented narratives much like the protagonist. Transitions between scenes are handled with subtlety, often employing visual or auditory motifs, such as the recurring image of water or the echo of footsteps, to maintain thematic continuity. This seamless stitching enhances immersion, preventing jarring shifts and reinforcing the film's cohesive atmosphere. The editor's nuanced use of silence, juxtaposed with sudden bursts of sound, manipulates audience tension skillfully, underscoring moments of shock or realization. Special effects, while sparing, are thoughtfully integrated to support the story's realism and mood. Practical effects dominate, with digital enhancements used judiciously to extend environments, augment atmospheric elements like mist and water, or subtly animate ancient carvings' luminescence. The visual effects team worked closely with the production design and cinematography departments to ensure that effects complemented rather than overshadowed the physical world, preserving the film's grounded aesthetic. The use of lenses and camera filters also contributed to the film's distinctive look. Selective focus and soft filters were employed in memory sequences and dreamlike moments, differentiating these from the film's more grounded present-day scenes. Wide-angle lenses captured the island's vastness and desolation, emphasizing characters' smallness against nature's grandeur. Telephoto lenses compressed space in tense confrontations, heightening claustrophobia and emotional intensity. The production's commitment to authenticity extended to sound editing on set. The sound department often recorded ambient noise live, capturing the island's unique acoustic signature. This practice enriched post-production soundscapes, allowing for greater layering and depth. Additionally, Actors performed with attention to naturalistic dialogue rhythms, avoiding exaggerated delivery, which, combined with careful mixing, fostered a sense of genuine interaction. Lighting rigs were designed for mobility and subtlety, enabling quick adjustments to changing natural light. The cinematographer's team employed LED panels with adjustable color temperature to mimic shifting daylight, enhancing continuity across scenes shot over multiple days. This technical finesse allowed for consistent mood and tone, supporting the narrative's emotional arc. The film's camera movements were choreographed in tandem with actors' performances, creating a synergy that heightens emotional connection. For example, slow tracking shots following the protagonist's explorations invite viewers into her contemplative state, while handheld sequences during moments of crisis mimic the character's heightened anxiety and urgency. This alignment between camera and performance deepens immersion and empathy. Box office production and release strategies complemented the film's artistic ambitions. Marketing emphasized the film's atmospheric qualities and psychological depth, targeting audiences who appreciate layered storytelling alongside suspenseful thrills. Early screenings and festival showings generated buzz around the film's unique blend of genre and art house sensibilities. Strategic release timing, avoiding competition with blockbuster franchises, allowed the film to find its audience and build word-of-mouth momentum. The film's visual and auditory signature became a talking point in critical reviews and audience discussions, highlighting how technical craftsmanship enhances storytelling. The interplay of light and shadow, natural soundscapes, and fluid editing was frequently cited as elevating the film's emotional impact, creating a fully immersive experience that lingers beyond the viewing. In sum, the filmmaking techniques employed are integral to the film's success, shaping its atmosphere, deepening emotional resonance, and guiding the viewer through a narrative that is as psychologically intricate as it is visually captivating. Through masterful cinematography, nuanced sound design, precise editing, and thoughtful integration of effects, the film crafts a world that is both tangible and evocative, a cinematic journey that engages the senses, the mind, and the heart. The tapestry of any film's life extends far beyond the screen, woven equally through the voices of those who bring it to life and the audiences who receive it. In this case, the cast's dedication, insights, and personal journeys offer a rich layer of meaning that deepens our connection to the story. Meanwhile, audience reactions and critical discourse reveal how the film resonates across diverse perspectives, generating dialogue that sustains its impact well beyond the theater's darkened walls. From the earliest days of casting, the selection process was as meticulous and thoughtful as the film's narrative itself. The director sought actors not only capable of embodying complex characters but also willing to invest deeply in the emotional and physical demands of the project. The lead actress's casting was a decisive moment. Her prior work had demonstrated a remarkable ability to convey nuanced inner turmoil and resilience, qualities essential for the protagonist's layered journey. Upon joining the production, she immersed herself in extensive preparation, including archaeological fieldwork, which she has described in interviews as transformative. This preparation enabled her to ground her performance in authenticity, moving beyond surface-level portrayal to inhabit the character's very psyche. The lead's interviews reveal a profound engagement with the film's themes of memory and identity. She speaks candidly about the challenge of portraying someone haunted by a fractured past yet determined to reclaim agency. Her reflections underscore the film's emotional complexity and the importance of vulnerability in storytelling. She credits the director's collaborative approach for fostering an environment where she felt safe to explore the character's contradictions and fears, creating a performance that many have described as haunting and deeply human. Supporting actors also brought unique energies and perspectives that enriched the film's texture. The actor portraying the antagonist, for instance, delved into the moral ambiguity of his role with intensity and empathy. In Conversations, he emphasizes the importance of portraying villainy not as caricature but as a product of complex motivations and regrets. His approach invites viewers to grapple with uncomfortable questions about power, betrayal, and redemption. His on-set interactions with the lead actress reportedly evolved into a dynamic interplay that translated into electric on-screen chemistry, heightening the film's dramatic tension. Several supporting cast members, many of whom were local actors or non-professionals, have shared stories about their experiences working on set. For some, participation was a first foray into filmmaking, and their fresh, unfiltered responses brought an element of rawness and sincerity that critics have praised. These actors often describe the production as a profound personal journey, deepening their connection to the island's culture and environment. Their involvement also speaks to the film's broader commitment to authenticity and community engagement. Director interviews provide further insight into the collaborative spirit that defined the production. The director frequently highlights the importance of trust and openness on set, fostering an atmosphere where actors could contribute creatively to character development. The production's shared challenges, remote location, demanding physical conditions, and emotional intensity, helped forge strong bonds among cast and crew. Behind-the-scenes footage and interviews often showcase moments of levity and solidarity. Late-night conversations, mutual encouragement during difficult scenes, and collective celebrations of small milestones. These glimpses humanize the filmmaking process, reminding viewers that cinema is ultimately a communal art form shaped by interpersonal relationships as much as technical skill. Audience reception has been robust and multifaceted. Early screenings generated enthusiastic responses, with viewers praising the film's immersive atmosphere, compelling characters, and thoughtful engagement with themes of memory and identity. Social media platforms buzzed with discussion, where fans shared interpretations of symbolic elements and debated character motivations, fostering a vibrant communal dialogue. This engagement reflects the film's success in inviting active, rather than passive, viewing. Critics have largely lauded the film for its layered storytelling and nuanced performances. Reviews often emphasize how the actors' portrayals elevate the narrative, imbuing it with emotional depth and authenticity. The lead actress's performance, in particular, has been singled out for its subtlety and power, anchoring the film's psychological complexity. Critics also note the ensemble's chemistry and the director's skill in balancing suspense with introspection. Some viewers have expressed appreciation for the film's refusal to simplify its themes or provide easy resolutions. Audience testimonials reflect admiration for its intellectual and emotional ambition, noting how the story's ambiguity and symbolism invite repeated viewings and deeper reflection. This engagement underscores the film's place not merely as entertainment but as a work of art that stimulates thought and conversation. Conversely, a minority of viewers have found the film's pacing challenging, particularly its deliberate unfolding and emphasis on atmosphere over action. These critiques often stem from expectations shaped by genre conventions. However, many acknowledge that this approach is integral to the film's immersive quality and thematic depth. Discussions among audiences highlight how personal taste and interpretive openness influence reception, enriching the film's cultural footprint. Film festivals and scholarly forums have further amplified the film's discourse. Panel discussions and academic papers explore its thematic complexity, cinematic techniques, and cultural significance. These conversations extend the film's life beyond commercial venues, situating it within broader conversations about memory, trauma, and storytelling. The film's reception in these circles attests to its layered richness and its resonance with contemporary artistic and intellectual concerns. In interviews, cast and crew often reflect on how audience interpretations have surprised and moved them. The multiplicity of readings, from psychological to historical to mythological, affirms the film's openness and depth. This dialogue between creators and viewers exemplifies the dynamic life of cinema as a collaborative cultural experience, where meaning is co-created across time and space. Merchandise and fan communities have also played a role in sustaining interest. Collectibles inspired by the film's symbolic artifacts, discussion groups dissecting plot intricacies, and fan art interpreting key scenes contribute to a vibrant ecosystem around the film. This engagement demonstrates how a film's impact extends beyond its running time, becoming a catalyst for creativity and connection. Ultimately, the cast's dedication, the director's vision, and the audience's engagement form a triad that sustains the film's emotional and cultural vitality. The personal journeys of those who made the film enrich its storytelling, while the diverse responses of viewers attest to its complexity and resonance. This ongoing conversation between art and audience transforms the film from a solitary viewing experience into a shared exploration of memory, identity, and the human condition. The journey through this film, with its intricate narrative, complex characters, and evocative cinematic language, leaves us with much to reflect upon. We have explored not only the plot's winding twists and the emotional arcs that give it life, but also the rich thematic layers that invite us to consider memory, identity, and the nature of truth itself. From the island's haunting presence to the nuanced performances that breathe flesh and blood into the story, every element coalesces into an experience that resonates long after the credits fade. Throughout this exploration, we have seen how the setting is far more than a mere backdrop. It becomes a living force within the film, a silent yet expressive character whose moods and mysteries mirror the inner landscapes of those who traverse it. The filmmaker's choice to embrace natural light and ambient sound envelopes us in an atmosphere dense with texture, where every shadow and whisper hints at secrets just out of reach. This environment shapes the narrative's tension and emotional resonance, grounding the extraordinary journey in a palpably real and immersive world. The characters at the heart of the story are equally compelling. Their struggles with trust, betrayal, and self-discovery animate the film's themes, illustrating the ways in which personal histories intertwine with larger, often ancient forces. The lead's profound journey from fractured memory towards self-understanding anchors the film's emotional core, while the supporting cast adds layers of complexity that reflect the moral ambiguity and fractured alliances that drive the narrative tension. Through their performances, we engage deeply with universal questions about resilience and redemption. Our deep dive into the filmmaking techniques revealed a tapestry of artistry and innovation. The fluid camera work, evocative lighting choices, and meticulous sound design all contribute to a cinematic language that speaks as powerfully as the dialogue. Editing rhythms that mirror psychological states, careful integration of practical and digital effects, and a musical score that blends organic and electronic textures create a multisensory experience that pulls viewers into the story's unfolding mysteries. These elements work in concert to shape mood and meaning, proving that every technical choice holds narrative weight. Behind the scenes, we uncovered a production marked by collaboration, resilience, and creative adaptability. From the logistical challenges of filming on a remote island to the cast's immersive preparation, the human stories behind the camera reveal a dedication to authenticity and emotional truth. The camaraderie among cast and crew, the ingenious solutions to unforeseen obstacles, and the inclusive atmosphere fostered by the director remind us that cinema is a collective endeavor shaped by passion and perseverance.